Hi, I'm Laura Richardson, and I'm a life coach. One of the most common reasons employees use their employer assistance program is related to family issues. Family problems are also one of the top causes why employees suffer a drop in productivity at work. Studies show that presenteeism, or impaired on-the-job performance, typically costs employers 2 to 3 times more than direct medical care. And the top causes for presenteeism are depression, anxiety, high stress, and migraines. Emotional and personal problems are also associated with increased absences, tardiness, on-the-job injuries, property damage, medical claims, and employee turnover. My company is dedicated to helping employees find alternative solutions to their ongoing issues with their current or former spouses that are faster, cheaper, and more satisfying for the employees because they get a chance to participate in how things move forward in the future. The benefits for employers are to maintain, if not increase, employee productivity, lower employee turnover, receive a high rate on return on their targeted investment, improve workplace morale and employee wellness, reduction in healthcare expenses and absenteeism costs. I do this by using my 13 years experience as a family lawyer in Texas to help my coaching clients. And yes, what I mean by family law is exactly what you're thinking. It's divorce, child custody, child support, modification of prior orders, relocation, and adoption. So what do I mean by alternative solutions? I use my experience to help employees come up with plans and strategies to help them communicate with their former spouses and to help solve their problems without having to go to court. Or if they do have to go to court, the only reason would be so that the judge would sign the agreement that they've already entered into with their current or former spouse. For example, Catherine, my client, had an ex-husband who was inconsistent on when he would pick up their son. Now, her ex had a regular 8 to 5 job, and he was supposed to pick up their son 6 o'clock every other Friday. Sometimes he would show up at 7:30 or on Saturday morning, or sometimes he wouldn't show up at all. But he wouldn't let her know until the last second, if he bothered to let her know at all. And oftentimes she had to hunt him down to find out what was going on. My client felt like she couldn't have her own life and plan for things because she was always tied to when her ex would finally decide to come and pick up their son. I coached her on how to properly document what was going on. And for approximately 3 months, she kept a calendar on every time her ex was late or didn't show up to pick up their son. I also had her send a text message to her ex every time he was more than a half hour late to get their son. At the end of those 3 months, I gave her suggestions and ideas on how she could approach her ex and explain to him all the highlights that she had on her calendar, which were when he didn't show up for visitation like he was supposed to, and all the text messages that she had sent to him every time that he didn't show up on time, and that she was probably going to have to go back to court and asked the court to change his visitation so that she could now plan and have her own personal life. Well, her ex was shocked because he had no idea that she was keeping this calendar. And when he saw all the text messages that she had all together and all of these calendars and text messages that she had kept over the past 3 months, well, he knew she meant business. And he also knew that she had pretty convincing evidence if they ended up going back to court. She made a plan, she saw it through, she was organized, and she was determined to do something about this problem, and she had had enough. Her ex saw all of that and got real concerned that she might be able to pull it off and change his visitation schedule. Needless to say, now things are a whole lot better. He now picks up their son on time, and when he's going to be late, he gives her plenty of notice unless it's an emergency. And he speaks to her and treats her with a whole lot more respect, the respect that she deserves. And that goes a long way to healing to all the things that had gone on between them. Now, that's the type of adequate solutions to problems that were really affecting her quality of life. Those are the types of solutions that I want you to achieve. It's faster, cheaper, and more satisfying for clients because they help shape and mold the solution in their own terms. To get more insights, scroll down on my webpage into the testimonial section and click on Catherine's story. Finally, you may be wondering, what's the difference between what I offer and prepaid legal services plans? With typical prepaid legal service plans, They usually just cover uncontested divorces. They may extend coverage to reviewing certain documents like a will, or they may cover drafting certain documents like a simple will or a power of attorney. They usually exclude coverage for things like custody battles and more complex issues. However, these plans typically refer these complex matters out to attorneys that are on their panel who offer a percentage off their usual hourly rate for legal services. My focus is always to try to help resolve these issues before employees go to the courthouse by coming up with creative ideas, suggestions, and strategies on how to get the results the employees want quickly, less expensive than going straight to court. There's no sizable retainer fee, but as a coach, I would not be writing letters or filing documents on the employee's behalf. And as a coach, I would be assisting employees on finding information that could help them and sharing my experiences, but it's not intended to be legal advice, and I wouldn't be representing them in court. I try to help employees solve their family problems before they become legal problems in a way that's faster, less expensive, and has less emotional cost for the employee, all while providing a financial savings for the employer. I believe that my services plug in the gaps that aren't typically provided by prepaid legal service plans and can be used in conjunction with prepaid legal services. So I hope that you find this video helpful, and I look forward to working with you soon.